This is a real show with real people talking about real issues with a real attorney. Now it's time to lawyer up. Today we're going to talk about a topic that's been sweeping the nation. So many young people have been losing their lives, not because of violence, not because of drugs, but because of one crazy issue: bullying. So many young people have been committing suicide. So many young people have been depressed and going through so much because of bullying. Today's show is going to highlight one young person that's going through so much. It's going to talk about her story, how she was to the point that she almost wanted to commit suicide. It is something that we need to address, something we need to discuss, and that's exactly what we did in Lawyer Up.
I am folding the pants. The pants are long. Do they go on my head? Do they? Do the pants go on my head? No. They go on.
Everyday moments can become teaching moments because learning starts long before school does. Give your child the start they need at bornlearning.org.
Welcome to Lawyer Up. We're here with Miss Regina Havens. Is that right? How you doing today?
Yes, sir. I'm good. How are you?
All right. Well, I'm really good. We're going to talk about a really sensitive issue to so many people. So many people have been victims of bullying, and we have a former victim, am I right?
Mm-hmm.
Talk to me about your experience with bullying. I mean, hopefully you're not going through it anymore, but what was going on with your experience with bullying?
Well, around the time I was about in 7th grade in middle school, it really started in 6th grade, but it wasn't as bad then.
Mm-hmm.
It was more they were just picking and teasing, and that stuff I just let roll right off my back.
Right.
But in 7th grade, one day, it was after lunch, we went to the bathroom. And while I was in the girls' bathroom, I was in the stall.
Uh-huh.
And this girl and her friend decided they were going to get in the next stall to me, lean over the top, and take a picture of me while I was in the bathroom.
Hold on. So let me make sure I got this thing right. You're using the bathroom.
Yes,
Some
sir.
girls come on the other side
Yes, sir.
and take a picture of you in the bathroom.
Yes, sir.
Wow. So what happened after that?
Well, I asked them to delete it because it upset me a lot. So I'd asked them to delete it, and I don't know what it was they had deleted,
Uh-huh.
but it definitely wasn't the picture. Because a year later, I was walking with my friend back from gym to the classroom, and we were talking about that. And she had told me that they had sent the picture out to a lot of people, and when she said that, I had no clue about that, and it upset me.
Uh-huh.
So, and at that point, that was the straw that broke the camel's back, because it got progressively worse from that time on, from when they took the picture on,
Mm-hmm.
and into my 8th grade year. It got so much worse. They called me all kinds of names because I'm a bigger girl, so
Mm-hmm.
they would call me all kinds of names. They would call me fat back, and they actually took on variations of my name
Mm-hmm.
to something more unpleasant.
Right.
And just every day it was something new. And I was taking it, and I was like, it's not going to be much longer, because
Right.
this was before the schools consolidated. And it was next year I'll be at Riverside. I won't have to ever see them again. If I choose not to, I'll be fine. Well, when I found out that picture got out and that people had seen me, that was it. And that sent me into a really deep, dark place. I became depressed.
So let me ask you this. I mean, before that picture kind of resurfaced, now,
Mm-hmm.
were you in a dark place at that point? Were you still kind of taking it, or kind of?
I was still taking it. I wasn't in a it wasn't my darkest place,
Right.
but it was still pretty dark. I wasn't as happy If you looked at me, you wouldn't have been able to tell that anything was wrong, though. I had the biggest smile.
Right.
I laughed the loudest, talked the loudest.
So no one on the outside can tell all the stuff that was going on inside you. I mean, you smiled, you gave a good impression to everyone, but you telling me that it was something that was destroying you on the inside.
Yes.
Wow. So, I mean, what changed after that picture surfaced? What changed? I mean, were you still the happy, outgoing person, or did it even change then?
Well, when I found that out the next day in class, the girl, she was picking at me, and I snapped in class. The teacher wasn't in the room at the moment. I couldn't even go on to second period after that. I broke down in the hallway crying, and they sent me to the guidance counselor. And from then on, I spilled everything. My mother and my sister were called in, and they were not too happy, and I left early that day.
Wow.
And we decided that we were going to press charges, and when we went to look for the picture to have evidence, it wasn't as easy to find.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't believe that we ever did find it. So we weren't very successful in that, but it was close to EOG, so they were just suspended.
Let me take you back real quick. You said you snapped in class. What happened? I mean, did you fight them, or kind of what happened when that happened in class?
Well, the girl, she was sitting there just picking at me, because she sat right behind me. But she was just picking at me, just plucking my bra strap and all kinds of things.
So she wasn't just talking; she was also actually doing stuff to you.
Yes, physically as well.
So what type of physical things were they doing to you during class? I mean, what were they doing?
I mean, other than that was about it. Every now and again, they'd throw something at me, and it would hit me, and I'd just leave it on the floor, or I'd throw it away. And
so they're just behind you in class, throwing stuff at you, pulling your bra strap, doing all these things. And the teacher's not there. The teacher's not doing anything. It's just happening.
Well, no, it's not that the teacher didn't notice it. They chose their moments very carefully.
The teachers did.
No, the students.
Oh, the
did.
students. Okay.
Because every now and again, the teacher would have to run out, or she would have to go into the next classroom for something, or to get copies, and it would just be quick seconds, and
Wow.
they would pick their time.
So you said it got to a point that y'all had to try to press charges, but that didn't work.
Yes, sir.
All right. So what happened after that?
Well, when my mother went up to the school, she was enraged, and we sat down with the principal, and we talked with her, and it was all I could do for just to stop breaking down, because that's the main thing that I didn't want them to see. After that day where I broke down in the hallway, I decided that they did not deserve to see me cry, that I didn't need to shed tears for what they were doing to me.
Right.
Because they didn't deserve it.
Right.
They didn't deserve the satisfaction. So when we met with them, it was all I could do to keep from crying out of frustration.
Right.
As to what was happening with me. And it was so close to our end of grade testing. When all this had happened, they were suspended for about the duration of the year, I believe. I think one girl came back early, because she wasn't actually the one who sent the picture, but she was with her, and she had the picture too.
Mm-hmm.
And so they came back like the last couple of days of school, and they just kept me separate from them.
Mm-hmm.
And that was about all that happened to them. They were suspended. I never got an apology, and they didn't say anything else to me. So,
well, now you told me you went to a dark place. Now, I'm asking this because lately so many young people have been doing so many crazy things. I mean, some people have been committing suicide. Some people have been lashing out violently. Years probably before you around in Columbine High School, guys went around and how dark of a place did it actually take you? I mean, did you ever contemplate hurting somebody else or hurting yourself? Did it put you in a position of that, or? Yes, they did actually. I never contemplated hurting anybody else, because that wouldn't help me at all. But I did contemplate suicide for a while. It was so bad for me, I figured that the only way to make it stop was if I just wasn't there. That was the only way I thought I could make the pain stop, but I don't have a high tolerance for pain, and so I could never do it. Because whenever I would think about doing it, I'd be like, well, my best friend is still here. Right. My mom's still here. So my brothers and my sisters. You found ways to kind of hold on despite having that. Yeah. Wow, that's a blessing. I mean, because so many people didn't find the other means. Look, we're going to talk some more in a second. We're going to be right back, okay? We'll be right back with more Lawyer Up. life, we have many challenges. Sometimes our opponent thinks that they have us beaten. Check. Sometimes they think they have us exactly where they want us. But then, we make the right strategic move. Checkmate. Despite how bad the situation may appear, hire a law firm that makes the right move.
Don't walk, walk. Do not enter. Hot dogs. Definitely like hot dogs. Motorcycle club. Everything must go. Ghostly ghouls. Don't look at that, Teddy. Body piercing. Ouch.
Everyday moments can become teaching moments because learning starts long before school does. Give your child the start they need at bornlearning.org.
Thomas Lynch, No Exit Productions.
Regina Sanders with Sanders Photography. I've been in photography business for 6 years, and the thing that I like most about being a photographer is shooting those special moments that people have together.
No Exit Production has been in the business for about 15 years. We cover the gamut when it comes to media production. We do everything from freelance for ESPN and Fox Sports to our own documentaries and video productions.
I love doing weddings, family reunions, baby showers, anything that you could possibly imagine that you want to share with someone else. About 3 years ago, I decided to team up with No Exit Production. It brought my business to another dimension. We now can offer video and photography.
When we teamed up with Sanders Photography, it was a perfect fit because we were able to expand our business to photos. You can log on to www.officialnxp.com.
Contact Regina Sanders at 252-717-0486 or Thomas Lynch at 252-714-8249.
We're back with Miss Regina Havens. She's telling us her terrible story about the abuse that she suffered at school. So tell us more about that whole story that you had going on when you were in, I think, 8th grade, you said.
Yeah, near the end of the year is when they were suspended, and at that, when everything went down and everything started happening, other people who, it wasn't just them who were bullying me, it was others, but they weren't as severe as those girls were.
Right.
They looked at me like, well, it was just a harmless prank. Why would you say anything? Why did you say anything? Why? You're taking it out of context. You're blowing it up. You're making it something else to be other than what it is.
So they didn't understand what was going on
Yeah.
inside. Let me ask you this now. What actually happened to them as far as, you said they got suspended for the rest of the year, but did anything else happen such as criminal charges or juvenile charges? They just...
No, sir. Not that I know of.
Okay, so you never had to go to court for anything?
No, sir.
But they did get suspended?
Yeah.
So how did you eventually kind of get over the situation that was going on? How did you kind of transition from a victim to, I guess, an advocate? How did you transition from that point?
Well, one day I was on the bus about to go home, and this little girl got on from the middle school. And at this time, I'd say I was about in 10th grade when this happened, and she was in tears, just sobbing. And we asked her what was wrong, and she told me that she was being bullied, but nothing was being done because the bullies actually flipped the circumstance around to make it seem like she was doing the bullying. And so she told me her story and what had been happening to her. And
when she told you that story, how did that make you feel? I mean,
it brought back my memories of how I felt and what happened to me.
Right.
So, and I couldn't believe that. And it really bothered me. So the very next day, first thing in the morning, I went to my guidance counselor and I spoke to her and I told her what was going on. And I asked her if there was some kind of way that we could help this girl.
Right.
And that started a correspondence between my high school and the middle school. And it resulted in the situation was resolved and everything was made right.
So because of your involvement and because you kind of jumping in at that situation, you actually kind of helped that girl.
Yes, sir.
I mean, because so you said you've been in dark places and stuff in your life and you weren't sure. So you felt like you had to step in?
Yeah, because I knew that I was fortunate to have my friends and my family as my way of that, and that's how I was able to pull myself out, knowing that there were people who were gonna miss me. And so that was my way, and this little girl, she had no one. And so I figured that since I was able to pull myself out, why not lend her a hand and be the one to pull her out?
Okay. So as a result of kind of helping her and helping her in that situation, did you do anything else? I mean, you helped one person, what else did you do after that?
After helping her, I realized that I wanted to help more people.
Right.
So I spoke to my guidance counselor once again and decided that I wanted to start an anti-bullying organization at my school. And it took us forever to come up with our name.
Right.
And we call ourselves Road.
So what does Road stand for? Like Road, like ROAD Road,
yes,
or
sir.
Rogue?
Road.
ROAD, okay.
Yes.
So what does that stand for?
It stands for respecting one another's differences.
So respecting one another's differences, that's deep.
Yes, sir.
That's deep. So what do y'all do with that organization?
Well, basically what we do is, we try to go to the middle school and the elementary schools, and we'll try to speak to the kids and let them know that the effects that bullying can have on people, on everyone really, because bullying, it can start as young, it can start at the primary school.
Wow.
It can start that young because kids can be mean.
I mean, you're a living witness to that, so yeah.
They can be mean, and when they're in the process of doing it, they don't think anything's wrong with it. There's just, it's fun and games. I'm just messing with them. Ha ha, it's fine. They'll be okay. They don't realize that words do hurt. You know, when you're younger, they say sticks and stones may break my bones, but words can never hurt me. Words can hurt more than the biggest rock that you can throw.
Wow. Well, look, we're going to be right back. We want to talk about a little bit more. I want you to have a message that you want to deliver to the bullies and the people that may be a victim of bullying when we get back after these messages, okay? We'll be right back with Lawyer Up.
Thomas Lynch, No Exit Productions.
Regina Sanders with Sanders Photography. I've been in photography business for 6 years, and the thing that I like most about being a photographer is shooting those special moments that people have together.
No Exit Production has been in the business for about 15 years. We cover the gamut when it comes to media production. We do everything from freelance for ESPN and Fox Sports to our own documentaries and video productions.
I love doing weddings, family reunions, baby showers, anything that you could possibly imagine that you want to share with someone else. About 3 years ago, I decided to team up with No Exit Production. It brought my business to another dimension. We now can offer video, and photography.
When we teamed up with Sanders Photography, it was a perfect fit because we were able to expand our business to photos. You can log on to www.officialnxp.com.
Contact Regina Sanders at 252-717-0486 or Thomas Lynch at 252-714-8249.
All the evidence is in, and now it's time for the final arguments of the lawyers. When I hear those words, I feel like a baseball player in the bottom of the ninth with 2 outs. And I'm up to bat. When I hear those words, I feel like a basketball player with 3 seconds on the clock and the game is on the line. When I hear those words, I feel like a quarterback in the 4th quarter on a game-winning drive, 2 minutes left to go. When I hear those words, I feel like I'm in a championship fight. I need a knockout to win. When I hear those words, there's one thought that goes in my mind. There's one thought that plays over and over again. There's one phrase that I continuously hear. And that phrase is, let's go to work. And look, we're back with Miss Regina Havens, and she has a message that she wants to give to those who may be victims of bullying or actually bullies themselves. So look, this is what I want you to do, Regina. Look, I want you to look right here in the camera. I want you to let the bullies know, let the victims know what's in your heart. If you have one thing that you want to tell them, go ahead and do that right now.
Okay, to any bullies out there, I just want to let you know that your words and actions do have consequences, because you don't want to be that person that causes another human being to take their lives because you were just bothering them and causing them so much turmoil in their life. You don't want to do that, because I don't believe that you would be able to live with that. I like to believe that there's good in everyone, and you may be going through a tough time yourself, and just think about how someone somewhere is making you feel. You're making somebody else feel the exact same way you are. And I know that if you could just take away any pain that you may be having, do that for somebody else. And to any victims out there, I just want to let you know that it does get better. No matter how deep a place you are in, there will be a day where the sun will shine again. And that what you're going through now, once you get through it, you will come out of it a better person and a stronger person. And that no matter what they do to you, they can't take you away from you.
Look, I really appreciate you, because I know that this was a very serious issue. I know you were in a very dark place at one time in your life, and it makes me smile. It makes me feel so good to see someone who is at a dark place find a way to pull themselves out to the light. So look, I appreciate you for taking the time to talk to us today, and I hope to see you one day soon. All right, you be safe, be blessed.
Sir. Thank you.
We'll be back with more Lawyer Up. Some people call this place a sacred place. Some people call this place the halls of justice. Some people simply call this place a courtroom. But to me, this place is a coliseum. And I am a gladiator. Just like all gladiators, I remember the great men that came before me. When I walk into the Coliseum, I look at my challenge, I look at my opponent, I look at the obstacle that stands before me, and then I say, let's go to work.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 little piggies ready to play. The big pig is Pedro. Pedro Piggy. He's the big piggy.
Everyday moments can become teaching moments because learning starts long before school does. Give your child the start they need at bornlearning.org.
Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. We heard that said all the time. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. But ladies and gentlemen, words do hurt. You must understand that the things that you say can have an effect that you never intended. So many young people get hurt from words that they hear day in and day out. They hear people tell them they're fat. They hear people calling them ugly. They hear people calling them stupid, calling them dumb. Words do hurt. So many people take their lives because of the words of others. Be careful of what you say. Be careful of what you say to other people because words really do hurt. Bullying is something that's been going on for so long and so many people are being affected by it. We have to do what my mama always said, and what I'm sure your mother said. If you don't have anything nice to say, look, don't say anything at all because words really hurt people. We got to make sure that we treat other people the way that we want to be treated. That's the final thought. Y'all be safe. Tune in right here to this channel to watch Lawyer Up. It's a real show with real people talking to a real attorney. You don't want to miss it. Watch Lawyer Up.